And we are live. Yes, welcome to this completely improvised and rambly stream of consciousness featuring yours truly, Ibai Canales, and my very good friend Midnight in Exile. What's up, Midnight?
What up, motherfucker?
Man, this has been a pretty disastrous day for me. I tried to live stream a concept sketch for a new project that I have with Artemis Worm, the guy from the guy from the Necromancer, and my fucking cell phone, man, it refused to live stream.
What do you mean it refused to live stream?
I don't know, man. I'm a complete boomer, so I have to talk about it in old guy terms. It just closed. The application shut down whenever the live stream began. So it was not. I don't know. It was something automatic. I tried like 4 or 5 times. Every time I pressed stream, it streamed for like a second, then it ended.
I feel like we're gonna need to spend a good at least full half a work day to sort out your technical issues.
Yes, I know we have to do something like that
Hmm.
because I'm a complete analogical guy. I know how to operate a VCR, but this whole digital thing, it's too much for me. I'm a fucking troglodyte, man.
You know what I'm thinking of doing? I'm thinking of buying a little table and like a little like a little tripod stand, maybe not a tripod, but a boom arm stand, and setting it up so that I have a camera over the little table with a couple of lights on it, so that I can draw alongside with you, and you can put it in a little window down in like the lower corner, so that people can see my piece of shit drawing. Their drawing.
Well, one that is actually a pretty good idea because people will want to they want to see what the level you can achieve by following Canada's life. And two, piece of shit is now a very loose term considering what the big two have been putting out these last few months.
My necromancer drawing.
Okay, yeah, it has some troubles, but you know me, I never trash another artist's style if I can avoid it. I just I'll let you know what would work better. Hey, that's been in the chat. Yeah, that's how I do criticism. I never say that's a piece of shit drawing. I say, well, this is what you should do. You should, I don't know, make it more dynamic. Still do the basic form of the hands, all that. You seem to have some trouble with hands. I'm going to recommend you a couple of tutorials on that.
I just draw like little circles or squares and I'm done with it, man. I'm not fucking with hands. Fuck hands.
Yeah, hands are
Fuck.
tricky to draw. They're like little spiders.
You know what? The other thing that you can do is invite other people onto the screen to like go in that little box. You can have like a little special feature where someone gets to draw with Canalis.
Yeah, that would work. We only need a couple of more watch. Oh, we have 3 watchers now, but yeah,
Right.
maybe when we've reached like 2-digit count watchers on our streams, maybe I would consider doing something more complex. Until then, I'll be happy not to be
Put off work.
what? Sorry?
I said fucking Spanish, always looking for a way to put off work.
Yeah, no, that's me. You can consider yourself lucky that I got to draw Iron Sights. The 122 pages of it. No Spaniard has done that before.
So, what else happened bad to you today?
Uh, Let me think. Oh yeah, I had to. Did I tell you guys that I'm kind of a big deal in the Spanish anti-PC community these days?
I bet you are.
Yeah, there's this local YouTube channel called La Contra, which is pretty much. I was going to say Breitbart, but they are not conservative. I don't know, kind of something like Rebel Media, something like that. They've noticed me. They've noticed me senpai, and they've commissioned me. They've been commissioning me with videos showing my ugly face, talking about delicate matters such as feminism and gender studies and all that.
I think you need to. There's something that we need to clarify. You're the senpai in that relationship.
You know what? I think I am.
You
I think
are.
I am.
I'm not even trying to blow smoke up your ass, but think of it this way: you probably have more American readers than they have viewers.
Well, I know I have to take it easy on the American references because most people don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Also, I was forced to change my camera angle because they could see my collection of airsoft guns, and apparently that triggered some of my viewers. And you
Oh,
know,
so what? Wait, who? What?
yeah, this is Spain, man. This ain't America. Having a gun here is makes you worrisome,
Oh, did you have
worrying.
your house?
What was that?
Did you have the cops show up to your house?
No, no, not so far. I didn't.
All right, that's good. So how are they saying you have to take airsoft guns off the wall?
Come again. What was that?
Like, how are they forcing you to take airsoft guns off the wall?
Oh no, they aren't forcing me. They just told me that it doesn't look good on camera. So take it easy on the heavy artillery. And I just had to change the camera angle and shoot me from another axis, so to speak. The thing is, I had this commission. I had this video to talk about how they're trying to impose gender theory on kids on school. And I just couldn't crack the motherfucker. I spent half the day trying to come up with something interesting, something not just rambling.
Oh, dude, I can help you with that. I have some notes.
No, no, don't worry. I finished it. I finally managed to put together something more or less interesting.
I
But
did a video on that last year.
but yeah, please do tell. It's a really interesting subject.
Not that good. It's not that good. And dude, it fucking wrecked me. It took me like 3 days to make the video, and just like seeing all the way that they're fucking grooming kids now and comparing it to John. Do you know about John Benet Ramsey?
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that.
She was like a little girl that was a like a child pageant, a child beauty pageant star, and
Yeah,
that I mean, it's still kind of they're still around, but that was a thing, and I don't know if it's anywhere else, but we had them in the States, and this little girl got raped and murdered in her basement, and nobody knew who did it, and like it really looked like her parents had something to do with it, and then it sort of caused this backlash against child beauty pageants and the sexualization of underage girls, and so the child beauty pageants all but disappeared. They're still around, but they're all but disappeared. Um, and that's what all this looks like to me. It's child beauty pageants all over again. Only they think it's okay because they're doing it to little boys.
yeah. I never understand. Actually, one of the points I cover in my video is that nobody really understands gender theory. But yeah, it's hard to me to understand how they're trying to distance themselves from pedophiles while they're actively. Holy shit, man! I read the program for one of the gender theory classes in school, and it includes teaching erotic games to children between the ages of 0 and 6 years.
Yeah, 3 days of going through that shit fucking hurt. Like I was a mess. I was a wreck after having to deal with that shit for 3 days straight because I had it was during a period of time where I had like a couple weeks off, and I was like, yeah, I'll make a video. And I did not like making that video.
Yeah, no, I had to stop talking about certain subjects because I was beginning to feel physically ill.
Yeah, I was big. Yeah, I that's one of the many feelings I was having. Um, I am at this point. I am at this point, and I passed it a couple of years ago, actually, where I don't support the LGBT people anymore. I used to. I used to be a strident supporter of everything that they wanted, and I don't anymore. And that is why they are going after kids, and that is my final word at the moment. You know what I mean? Like that's my conclusion. They're doing exactly what they said they fucking wouldn't do. They're going after kids.
We have Paulo Costa in the chat saying Second Amendment in Spain now abolish the monarchy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Ironically, they think that I'm a pro monarchy because I'm more on the right than Stalin, but I'm actually anti monarchy. I'm anti centralization of power, and I'm completely for the right to defend yourself, be it with your fists as the martial artist that I am, or with a gun, which I think it's you know what they say. God made people big and small, and Colt created the 45 to even things off.
But you know, I was wondering today. A friend of mine sent me a picture of France right now,
Yeah.
and France is fucking popping off, dude. We're not hearing about it in the media in the U.S. Are you hearing it in Spain?
Uh, it's funny because we have people in Spain that are trying to appropriate the yellow vest thing, because here it's trendy to be against the government and riot and all that shit. But the thing is, I don't think the yellow vests and the local progressive stack would get along.
No, the yellow vests are largely working class.
And they're that was what you meant, right? The yellow vest and all that. Is I got distracted with the chat. That's what we're
Oh,
talking about.
what I was thinking is like, imagine if the French had AR-15s.
Oh, oh yeah. Well, they actually do, except they are mostly Arab French. Know what I mean? Right, right. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, Salzburg is apparently a gun-free zone, and there you have it.
Yeah. Imagine if actual French people had
Yeah.
AR-15s.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It reminds me of something that Stephen Crowder once said, that that's why you Canadians have the British Queen on your coins, and we don't,
Mm-hmm.
because when we rebelled, we had weapons, we had firearms, and you didn't. Well, you actually never rebelled, but anyway.
Now, how do you see the situation in France playing out?
I I'm not going to say it's going to be a Frexit, but there's going to be a return to more conservative values. I think it's going to happen in all Europe sooner or later. I think we're all going to go the Orban way.
Are they going to toss Macron?
They're definitely going to try. Well, you know what happens with the European Union, right? The people elect one leader, and then the Brussels guys come along and they kick him out and put their own puppet in there in power, like it happened in Italy.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know, it's all a muddy issue. You can trust elections, you can trust the system here, because there's things that at least in front of the public opinion the American government is never going to do. I mean, everyone lost their shit when Donald Trump announced the travel ban, and I remember at least the guy in charge of the JFK airport, he refused to obey. There's things that the government cannot do in the United States, if you know what I mean. I don't think there's anything that a European government cannot do. They just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. To do right now, I think would be kick Macron. They have to kick Macron. At this point, I like last week I was thinking maybe he can stick around, but they have to. They have to kick him.
Macron is the French Justin Trudeau, so to speak. So yeah, if you ask me, that guy is gonna go.
They absolutely need to kick him, and then they need to do a Frexit, and they need to do a hard motherfucking Frexit. They need to Frexit so fucking hard that nobody can even think of stopping it, like they're trying to do in Britain. And then what they do is they make a strong support for Britain's exit, and that guts the coffers of the EU, guts them. I mean, France is the biggest economy in the EU.
I mean, if the EU they already lost Britain. If they lose France, the EU is in serious trouble.
It was, if I'm correct, and I'm just taking a guess. I haven't actually seen it, but
We have proper Jeremy in the chat asking, in your opinions, what is the difference between a leftist or a liberal and an SJW? You want to go first?
sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. A social justice warrior doesn't actually have to be liberal. They don't actually have to be leftist. They're someone that advocates for social puritanism. That's pretty
Yeah,
much what.
yeah, no, that's what I think too.
And liberal is it's a broad scale of things, and leftist is too. Leftist is just a reference to the fucking house. Like it's a reference to where people sit in the house in the U.S. Like if you're
Yeah,
on
it all comes from the French Parliament back during the French Revolution. The liberals, the anti-monarchy, anti-class guys would sit in the left, and the conservatives will sit in the right. But that's pretty much it.
that's it's a common vernacular, but it really just means where you're sitting in a room. And a liberal, in theory, is someone that is for lower restriction. That is what that means. In parlance, it means, um, well, in America, Democrats, people who are not just against restriction, but excessively permissive, uh, and approaching communist, if not straight communist. How about you, Canal?
Yeah, I think you just summed up my opinion pretty well. I think a leftist is simply a guy who's against, let's say, classes. A liberal is a guy who's for tolerance, so to speak, and an SJW is none of those, because an SJW is actually he's a Bolshevik. He's basically a communist. So he's against freedom, which doesn't qualify him as a liberal, and he's not against, definitely not. He's not a leftist in the original sense of the word, because these motherfuckers are really elitist. Did you guys realize how they? When my parents lived in Brussels, they refer to them as la divine gauche, the divine left, because they act like fucking gods among men, because they knew best. They knew what was best for the workers. They knew what was best for the women and the immigrants, and how to fix the world. They were, and when the revolution comes about, and their new order is imposed onto the world, they would be the ruling caste. That they will be in charge. They won't be working the fields or breaking their backs in the mines, or boring their asses off screwing leads on factories. No, 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 no. They will be in the parliament and in the high houses telling everyone else what to do. So no, I don't think they are uh, leftist or anti-class. They just think they are the ruling class, that they should be the superior class.
You know what I always think of with SJWs is the Salem witch trials. In the 1600s, they would have been accusing people of being witches.
Yeah, you know, I always say that our opinions have changed, but our brain remains in the Middle Ages. Fuck, our brain remains in the in the Ice Age, for that matter. I don't think we've evolved so much in the past 5,000 years. So yeah, it's the same mental mechanism. Know what I mean?
I mean, we're monkeys, dude. We're monkeys with very good language skills, but we're still monkeys. Paulo Costa in the chat says, leftists believe in the ongoing class struggle. Liberals believe in deregulating society morals. SJWs are preppies with hyphenated surnames whose parents gave up on them.
Hyphenated surnames. Is that the guys who are like I have like a French and a British surname all together joined by a hyphen?
It's like, dudes named Courtney. My name's
Yeah.
Courtney Wilcox Barriston.
Yeah, no, we have those here too. We have the oh fuck, I've forgotten about the posh mask names. But yeah, they're also hyphenated. They're like Ostolozaga Ricaviti or something like that. Yeah, it's funny how these things all seem to be similar across several cultures.
There's a such thing as posh basque.
You broke off. What was that?
There's a such thing as posh Basque people.
Oh man, you'd be surprised. I live in an area that's divided by this huge canal. It's a huge river, and the guys on the other side of the canal got rich by looting the ships that crashed into the shore. Yeah, because we live in a really, I don't know if you're familiar with the Cantabrian Sea, the Cantabrico, but it's a really wild, dangerous, cold sea, and many a ship have met a watery grave in this sea, and when they wash the shore, those motherfuckers will do the shit out of them, and their forefathers. It's kind of like the fog, John Carpenter's The Fog.
I was thinking more of Sicilians in general, but I can also think of John Carpenter's The Fog.
We all should think about John Carpenter at least once a day because he has the initials JC. I don't think it's a coincidence.
Are are posh Basque people like posh barbarians?
Uh, I guess so, but they have forfeited. They forfeited for fuck. When I don't have Google at hand, I become a Lucy English speaker. But yeah, they have forsaken their inheritance. They write their names with the Spanish rules, with the Spanish grammar rules instead of with the Basque grammar rule, by
Uh,
by which we Basques will write Echevarria with a T X and a B, and they will write it with a C and H and a V. They have betrayed us for the Spanish invader.
it's more like is Irish Protestants.
Yeah, it's similar to that because I'm sure that the Irish independentists sympathize with the Basques.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we're kind of like cousins. You go to Belfast, and there's lots of a shit ton of art featuring Basque people on the walls.
I mean, you could easily take an Irishman from Belfast and a Basque and swap them, and no one would know. No one would know that that's where that they weren't out of place.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
Yeah,
We have proper Jeremy says. Notice my character. This is parody, but in real life, oh yeah, I'll dive into the Salem witch trials. You're the rhetoric to try to improve the comedy.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I can see that.
Like the Inquisition is a good one. People were ratting each other out for being whatever heretics. Man,
Did you guys see this show called Man in the High Castle based on the Philip K. Dick book?
yeah, I saw a couple of episodes of it. It was all right.
That's very good, and it shows that in this kind of regimes, nobody's really free because even when the Nazis won, they were still at war between themselves
Right.
because this is how it works. And Zach has mentioned it several times. It's not enough to be in the party. It's not enough to be in the cool club. You have to voice your approval and your how much you love the party every day, all day long, or else people will use you to climb to the top. They will rat on you, and they will use you they will carry you as a trophy. I found this heretic. Promote me.
You ever see it's an older sci-fi show called Andromeda with Kevin Sorbo?
Oh yeah, it was like a Star Trek ripoff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. But there was a dude whose race was called Nietzscheans, and what they were was like genetically engineered humans who over generations built their own galactic society, and they were constantly in conflict with one another to become the Uber. Like you had clans, and like every Nietzschean clan was at war with every other Nietzschean clan. But then within the clan, every family in that clan was at war with every family in that clan. And then within every family, every individual was at war with every individual. They were all in a constant state of conflict because they had that, like, every single one of them had to be the one on top.
Yeah, I can totally see that because at the end I've said this several times, but I think success is a way. It's just a weapon that psychopaths are using, and psychopaths are inherently selfish. And
Mm-hmm.
we've seen this several times. They will look for enemies when they don't have any. You know, they will actually seek conflict, and if they don't find any legit enemies, they will turn on whoever is right beside them because that's how they think.
pretty crazy, man. I have so much other shit to do.
Paulo Costa said we had a bunch of etarras hiding in Portugal during the 80s and 90s. I don't know if you guys know, but ETA used to be our IRA, or it means Euskaditas Katasuna, Basque Country and Freedom. And the etarras were the militants, the soldiers of the organization, and they apparently hit in Portugal during the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I can see that. They also hit in France and several parts of the European geography. I used to be a huge ETA sympathizer when I was full blown leftists, because they're a Marxist militia when they first rose against Franco. So if you're a leftist in Spain, you have to side with ETA.
See, they would have done better if they were not Marxist.
Oh yeah, no. I still like the idea of becoming an independent nation from Spain. It's not an entirely bad idea, because I think Spain is an inherently corrupt country, but I won't support independence if that means becoming a Marxist state. Not in a fucking million years.
Let me ask you this: if Basque Country became Basque Country, what would their exports be?
We have a very strong connection with Britain. We have a lot of fishing industry. We also used to have mining at some point, not so much anymore. What else do we have? I don't know, but we're in the coast. We're in the coast, and we get along with other countries. We have a strong naval ship industry, so I think we could potentially become a kind of like Brighton, something like that.
You got any oil?
Nope, not so far.
You got any
We do have
coal?
we have coal.
You got any coltan?
We have what?
Coltan?
No, no, afraid not. We're too white for that.
I mean, that's what would hinge on Basque Country's ability to be independent, would be whether it actually has enough export to bring in a sum, like to keep the books in the black, so to
Yeah, no,
speak.
it all depends on what can you produce. We used to be not so much anymore. That's the thing. Basque Country has lost a lot of productive power. We used to be a huge industrial core, so to speak. In Spain, we used to have a lot of steel mills and shipyards, mines, and all that. And a lot of that shit has been outsourced to other countries. So I don't know, man. I don't know if that's even possible.
Um, oh, you know what else they would need? They would probably need a healthy tourism industry. And I know how the Spaniards are with their customer service.
Yeah, no, we all know that's the thing. If we want to be independent from Spain, we need to be less Spanish. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like that's tourism industry. Like that'll account for half of your fucking export value, man.
Oh yeah, no, no. We have a huge, we have a rise on tourist industry. They're trying to turn Bilbao into a big gentrified city. San Sebastian, Donostia is already big, because we have this cinema thing, this movie festival once a year, and important people come over to see watch dumb fucking movies that nobody else wants to see. But yeah, I think that's a huge thing for us, tourism.
Here's what. Okay, I got it. I got it. I figured it out. Basque Country needs an Amsterdam.
And Amsterdam, you mean like with horse and drugs and clubs and all that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that could work. At
that's
least for the tourists, because yeah, I'm sure Basque women won't have sex with anyone under any circumstances.
yeah, but they will. They will. I'm telling you, they look. Okay, listen. Secret plan. Secret plan.
Go ahead.
They're
Yes.
totally near the improvement in Basque society. We are going to socially engineer an improvement in Basque society. Basque women will be begging for Canales.
I know they will be eventually at some point.
They'll
You
be
know that I've had people from other parts, other more sexualized part of the country ask me what the fuck is wrong with Basque women. I'm a huge player. I get laid once a week at least, and I came here to party with my friends to your local festivities, and I tried to hit on several Basque women, and I'm feeling extremely depressed. They have completely destroyed my self-esteem. What the fuck is wrong with you women?
so like, do they just not socialize with men at all?
They don't really like it. They will if they have to, but
Really interesting. So they're almost segregated. They're almost self-segregated.
oh yeah. No, we have this thing called cuadrillas here, which are like cliques, so to speak, groups. It's a colloquial term of calling them, and it's usually a bunch of friends who go clubbing together. And when you see them, 9 out of 10 times, men are hanging out in one group, women are hanging out in another. That's the unwritten law of the Basque country.
Right. I was going to recommend that all of Basque men pick up the Midnight in Exile patented move number 3. Was my third was my third most powerful move.
Please tell us. There's people in the chat who are really curious about this.
You gotta do the freeze out.
Please explain.
Okay, so every now and again, Midnight in Exile will be in a social situation, and he might see an appealing chick, but the way it is, it's like just you get this feeling, and you're like, if I go up and I talk to that chick right now, she'll get the attention fix from me that she wants, and then she won't be interested in me at all. I have an idea. Ignore that bitch. And I am telling you, 8 or 9 times out of 10, that chick.
Okay, I'm willing to try for the sake of science.
There is something in women's psyche. They cannot handle being ignored. They cannot fucking fathom being ignored. And I'm not saying be mean. But if she asks you a question, you say the shortest answer possible, smile, and walk away. I'm telling you, man, the freeze out has remarkable results.
Huh. Well, yeah, for science, I'm willing to try that. We have proper Jeremy in the chat saying, "Who's your guest and do they have a YouTube or Twitter account?" That's for you, Midnight. I'm afraid none of us, nor Midnight or I, have Twitter accounts because Twitter doesn't like what we have to say. We're too cool for school. But you can find us both on Gab. You can find me on Facebook. I'm a pretty friendly guy, as Midnight here can say. And yeah, we got a new sub from Jeremy.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am Midnight in Exile. I have a channel on YouTube, but I have largely migrated my channel over to stream.me for live streaming purposes. So you can find us over there. We're doing an episode of Bad Words tomorrow night at 8 on I'll give you a hint at what the topic is. It is put on your tinfoil hats. Bad Words is a show where my co-host Meta World Thief and I discuss words we're not allowed to say to the point that we can't do that show on YouTube. So when Stream.me came along, I was like, now I've been wanting to do this show for my whole life, actually. I am not on Twitter. I am on Gab. I am on Minds. But yeah, Twitter banned me for saying the word tranny.
Well, hey, they banned me for making a Commando reference.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That's what you get for being in the blacklist.
Unpersoned by fucking Jack Dorsey. Who did you see the picture of him hanging out with the dude in blackface?
No, I totally need to see that. Let me Google it. Jack Dorsey blackface. I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure it would be too hard to find out. Blackface. The guy looks like a massive soy consumer.
Oh yeah. I want to fucking punch that nose ring out of his face.
I must say here from Canalestream show that we don't endorse violence of any kind unless it's really flashy and includes flying on cartwheel kicks.
I was watching the Cognificent stream. Cog, do you know Cog?
No, I don't think so.
He's one of the guys from his crew. He's like stuff.
And you're breaking off. You're breaking off.
He does like cop body cam streams and stuff like that. And there was one that I watched like yesterday, I think, where this big fucking muscle bound black cop walks up to a guy who I swear looks just like Jack Dorsey. And like, yeah, and the guy's giving him a hard time. And like, the deal with cops is like, good cops, bad cops, whatever. Relative to the power structure, if a cop comes up to you and says, do this, answer this question, do that. And if you want to not answer the questions, just say, I'd like a lawyer. Otherwise, I'm not talking to you. But don't be belligerent to a cop. And so this cop just walks up to this guy, fucking picks him up in a bear hug and body slams him to the ground. And he looked so much like Jack Dorsey that it actually felt good. It actually felt vintage.
I'm sure it made you feel all tingly on the inside.
A little bit. A little bit. I want to fucking join in.
Before you go completely berserk, as the
Yeah.
good Irishman that you are, we have to welcome Sketch Therapy, who's a veteran of the comic skate wars, and
Yeah.
also has been a regular on Raw's show. What's up? ¿Qué pasó? Sketch Therapy
Wait, on whose show?
on Raw War Campaign.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that show. I should
You
watch
never
it.
saw War Campaign, dude?
Wow.
It's the shit lordiest comic skate related streaming show ever.
I better fucking check that out. It's
Yeah,
it's funny.
do so.
We're in this period right now. We're in this interesting little golden age of a return to AM radio. It's really interesting to watch happen. There's so many good shows out there right now. I barely watch television.
I don't watch television. I watch Netflix, and because there's nothing else to watch. Half the time, I'll just watch YouTube.
I like there's like 3 or 4 shows that I might be watching. Maybe. And like other than that, everything is like listening to fucking streamers. And like what's great about it is I get work done while I'm doing it.
Yeah, yeah. So it happens to me. I mean, I don't think I've ever drawn a single page without listening to somebody's stream, or I'm talking about YouTube. But yeah, no, I listen to stuff and I get informed as I work.
Uh, like there are a ton of fucking good shows to listen to. It's great. I'm actually really excited about the potential for that. And now with Stream Me coming along and providing a proper free speech platform, even more is going to happen.
I think the last frontier is to create well, not there's more for comic artists, but for now we need a PayPal alternative or a Patreon alternative that will allow us to monetize our stuff regardless of it being PC approved or not.
That's going to be difficult.
Yeah,
That's
no,
going to
I
be
know, but that's the moment we get that, man. Oh, fuck the system. Fuck the system.
there may be a way to do it, but we may end up actually needing government regulation in the US because the root of all these problems that are happening are the big companies that include credit card companies like Visa, MasterCard, all the banks, all the big banks, Bank of America, Chase, whatever the fuck. They're all part of the problem. And they're all at the root of the problem because all this social justice nonsense is the result of corporations using it. It's a tool of corporations and people don't see it, but it's being used like to make their employees controllable and it's being used to make their customers controllable. and they're trying to socially engineer every single fucking country in this world into a globalist outlook so that they can streamline their supply chains and gain more control over the entire fucking world. So I think that the thing that's going to happen is that there's going to have to be government regulation that doesn't allow them to do that.
Yeah, I keep hearing how leftists applaud profusely every time a private company, a private service like Facebook or Twitter deplatforms somebody for wrong thing, and these leftists all of a sudden become defendants of free market and the rights of private companies to accept whoever they want in their midst. And it's funny how us the less statist guys are asking for the government to regulate this, because otherwise we're going to end up living in a corporatocracy. Is that a word? Corporatocracy?
Autocracy, yes, it is.
Yes, the dystopian world imagined by William Gibson in Neuromancer, for example, in which corporations hold control over every aspect of your lives. There's no governments anymore; they're just private companies because they gotten so big and so influential that government is now obsolete.
I worked for a large corporation for a very short period of time, a very long time ago. Um, and it is terrifying. It's weird. The people that like in the actual like building, skyscraper type building that corporation would own
Yeah,
are it's like another fucking world. It's this weird world where everybody is pretending to be something that they're not. And I'm not talking in a hey, I'm at work so I can't run around screaming chink chink chink. I mean like to the degree that there's like this one personality, one or two personalities that's acceptable in corporate America, and they're all like adhering to the structure of that personality.
yeah. It's funny because it becomes similar to what we mentioned before with the man in the high castle, in which these guys live in this huge, let's say, form of control. And I guess that's inherent to every. Uh, I don't know how to put this in English, but the government is basically a corporation, except it's publicly funded. But the inner workings are pretty much the same. There's people doing these jobs and people who want to climb to the top and all that. And I guess it applies to both. If a corporation becomes the ruler, the same evils that a big government can create can come from that corporation, right? Am I making sense here?
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Um, what a really good example of like the personality weirdness on the inside. I even refer to that period of my life, which was short, as when I was doing time on the inside. Um, and like in my professional environment is like criticize pretty openly and pretty plainly. Like if someone did a project that was garbage, you would say that's garbage, dude. That's wrong. You did that wrong. And so that's the attitude that I brought with me into this corporate job. And I remember I I told some chick that she was doing this technical thing wrong, and she couldn't understand why she was doing it wrong, but she was way wrong, and she was fucking mortified. And that chick after that, she became my nemesis. Like they can't criticize. They can't. Nobody criticizes in those corporate environments. That like, it was really weird. It was really strange. And nobody can handle like you can take it from your superior, I guess. But even then, they have to be careful about how they do it. It's fucking weird.
Huh. So, sketch therapist says Benito Mussolini used to say fascism should be called corporatism because it is the mix of corporation and state, which is eerily similar to what's happening now, right? I mean, the corporations are parroting the lines produced by the state, at least here in Spain.
I would much rather Benito Mussolini's fascism than what corporatism actually is. Because in Benito Mussolini's fascism, the state still exists. There is no state in corporatism. There,
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess it's a kind of brutal anarcho-capitalism in which uh, nothing matters except what you can buy.
there's no court. There's HR.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
God, can you imagine that? Oh my fucking God.
all cops and military are actually mercenaries and won't do shit unless you pay them.
Let me tell you, dude, that is fucking terrifying because I have dealt with cops and judges in my life, and I would say more than 80% of my encounters with them have actually been overall positive. Overall, conflict resolving, not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, not my case, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, I, oh God, I can't. I'm just, I'm putting myself in the place where you're going to court for something and it's not a judge, it's an HR rep.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck. That's terrifying.
it's terrifying. It's Kafkaesque.
Yeah, yeah. Woo.
So yeah, no, that's some food for thought, man. I guess that's what they're trying to accomplish, right? I mean, they're trying to create a population of demoralized, easily manipulable assholes who will basically be corporate drones.
Yeah, that's what the corporations are trying to create. And what the SJWs think the corporations are trying to create is essentially a corporate funded vacation for everybody. You know what I mean? That's what they think they're going to get is a corporate funded vacation for life. For at least themselves and their friends. They don't really care much about more.
Well, I think they've proven without a shadow of that the shadow of a doubt that this isn't about principles or about justice. This is about what they want. This is about themselves. And as long as their wishes are fulfilled, they're perfectly happy.
God,
I
their wishes
mean,
are
repeat that. You broke off.
all right. Their wishes are never fulfilled. That's the funny part. Nothing ever
Yeah,
is.
yeah, because they're pathological. They're, as we said, a lot of them are plain psychopaths. Others are just troubled individuals. I hooked up with feminists before, and I realized that this once you got to know them, they were just misguided or troubled individuals. They were actually good people, except they didn't know how to articulate their goodness, and they have been manipulated by smarter people than them. And then I've also tried to hit on other uh, perceived feminist chicks because usually the sex with feminists is pretty fucking cool. But yeah, and then I realized that some of them, this other kind of feminists that I tried to hit on, I had to stop because there wasn't anything good in them. They were like hate machines. They were utterly sociopathic. So I think those are the ones guiding the movement. Those are the ones creating the outrage and pushing the others with a cattle prod. I hope you guys will appreciate this insight on Canales's sex life.
I hmm. I have also dated a good handful of feminists. Uh I don't know. By per capita, I would say the sex was average.
Well,
Um
then again, you're speaking from the point of view of a United States citizen, and I'm Basque.
yeah.
If we get sex at all, that's good sex. Any sex that you can get is good sex for us.
I will say that the one that was the craziest, like the one that I'm like like knowingly walking into danger, that one was like definitely among the best. But when that ended, that had to be like a delete the phone number, change the address, maybe even move towns type thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I find that none of them really listened.
Well, I had this thing with this feminist chick, and you could never discuss the subjects, the subjects, because she would put up her emotional defenses and get all angry and teary, and there was you had to talk to her about anything else but that.
I just recently there's this one chick that I've been running into that keeps fucking chasing me around. I don't want to have nothing to do with her. And of course, I'm deploying number three. I'm ignoring the fuck out of her, which makes her chase me around more. I'm like,
That's
oh,
the that's the perfect, beautiful irony of it, isn't it?
uh, you know, she she is a dyed in the wool. I wonder sometimes if she hangs out with Antifa types, and that one of the many reasons I don't want to have anything to do with her. But like, she will try to have conversations about things with me, and I learned very quickly not to even bother. So like the first couple of times she did it was when this happened. I don't even bother. I'll be like, all right, well, okay, that's your opinion. Here's my opinion on that matter, and then it's emotion because I didn't agree. Well, this is my lived experience.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not. We're not talking about this. I'm not.
Yeah, no, yeah, she will do that the same to me. This makes me sad. I'm gonna cry. I'll just go full beach mode and give it the silent treatment.
Yeah. No. No. None of that. We walk
Sketch
away.
therapy wants to know if one of us is in a train station. I don't think I am. Then again, I found myself in weirder places before.
I'm telling you, man. There's like a draft or a ghost.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, it,
know. You keep telling me that. I don't hear anything. I'm in this really small closed room under a closed door, and it's nighttime. I don't know what can be, man.
this is what it sounds like. I'll do an imitation of it.
Fucking hell, that was terrifying. Yeah, okay, you can cut that out now. I want to sleep tonight. Okay,
It's scary, right? I
it's
seriously
fucking
want.
terrifying.
Do you live in a windy area?
I do, but it's not particularly windy tonight. I don't hear anything.
We need to do a Canalist subsection on Tommy's soundboard.
No, what we need is an old priest and a young priest. That's what we need. We need to bless this house. We need a small woman with glasses and a weird hairdo to
Listen,
clean my house from evil presences.
imagining that my method of ghost busting isn't going to work in your house.
If you were to show your dick to a dead Basque woman, you would probably cause the house to implode like in The Simpsons.
Well, I'm sure if there are ghosts, they've seen your dick many times, my friend,
This is also true. I mean, I walk around naked on my house all the time, so I think they should be pretty used to that by now.
and they're still there.
Yeah, or at least I think they are. I don't hear them. Maybe they're calling for your help. This is why you hear them and I don't. They're telling you, save us from Canales. We can stand him seeing his huge, hairy, pre-romantic, barbaric tongue anymore. Save us.
It's like a furred fucking grapefruit hitting me in the forehead.
It's like the arm of a monkey holding an apple. This is also true for all Basques.
Sketch therapy is saying after the stream is over, re-listen to it. Yeah, I'll. You know what? I'll download your stream and then I'll clip it and I'll I'll
Yeah,
boot
and
the
you'll
audio.
you'll you'll text it to me just to scare me randomly in the
Oh,
middle of the night. Hey, Canales, listen to this. Jesus.
absolutely. So, what is on the docket for your week this week, Canalis? We're rolling out of Sunday and into Monday.
Well, my plans for the week are I'm going to be drawing new pages for Necromancer, written by Artemis Worm. I'm going to be hopefully finishing up. Well, not this week, but in a couple of weeks. The Abductables. This comic I'm drawing about what would happen if aliens abducted the wrong motherfucker.
I gotta donate to that one. I gotta buy that one. Can I
Uh,
still
it's
buy?
not it's it's not still up, but I'll let you guys know. I let everyone know once the campaign is on.
What do you have up that's taking orders right now?
You mean what commissions am I drawing now?
What books are you working on that are
Oh,
still taking?
I think they're all sold out by now. Ironsides is sold out.
I got mine.
Yeah, I know, and it was. I'm not going to say where this happened because I don't want to dox you, but it was a pleasure signing it for you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure getting fucking drunk as shit with you.
Everyone should get drunk with cannabis at least once in their lives.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. So you have nothing up that's actually taking money right now.
No, no, not right now. I'm just living off Saks benefits.
Oh, okay. And where can people reach you if they want to try to book a commission in 6 months?
Well, they can reach me on Facebook on Gab. I'm also on Minds, and I also have a DeviantArt page which I don't share often. I don't know why. Probably because, as you know, as a barbarian, I'm not too smart. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sketch therapy had a good idea, and they had the good idea of mentioning decimators. Oh, see, I'm not too smart. I forgot decimators. The Wicked guys are going to publish issue two, volume two, actually, of decimators anytime now.
Nice.
This webcomic written and drawn by me.
What's that going to cost?
Let me check. I think it was like 2.99, 3.99 last time.
Hey, that's not
Uh,
bad.
no,
$1.90.
I no, I tried to make it affordable. I don't wanna get rich. I just wanna get popular. I think everything else, comes from that.
Let's hold on a second. Maybe a little rich.
Okay, you know what? We wanna move to our summer flat in Alicante and just live there like an old guy in Saint Petersburg. Saint Petersburg's a city in Florida, right?
Saint Pete? Yeah, Saint
Yeah,
Peter's. Yeah, yeah, it is.
yeah. I think that's where all the old guys in the U.S. go to live
Why
off
don't,
their last days.
why don't we throw in enough for you to also import a Romanian bride?
I'm not against that. I've heard that Romanian brides are pretty complacent and also beautiful. There are a lot of Romanian women here, but they're usually starring in texts sent by you by the cops telling you that they just robbed that jewelry. So I don't know if they're wife material. This is not for cannabis.
Yeah, we want one with a clean criminal record.
Yeah, yeah.
But it doesn't
I'm,
have. I
I'm
mean,
particular like that.
Eastern Europe. You know what I'm saying? Eastern Europe, where they still know how to behave themselves, sort of.
Yeah, the ones who already knew, the ones who knew communism and knows what will happen, the ones who reject that shit. I like women from there. Polish women are pretty awesome in my experience.
Dude, I have a friend who's married. He is like Polish American, but his wife is Polish. So like his parents or grandparents came here.
Yeah,
Wife came here from Poland, and like they have their family is set up absolutely correctly, like to the point that like she's actually the disciplinarian.
all right.
Like he doesn't even have to get mad at his kids. His kids are pretty well behaved anyway, but like she is fucking like almost like a Chinese tiger mother. Like she makes sure they're straight. Like they have to be involved in like extracurriculars. And, like he is on target for building their futures. I highly, with that sample size of one, I highly recommend a Polish bride.
Yeah, I think I could go with that. Oh, sketch therapy says I like V, but when I look at him, my first thought isn't brother-in-law. Because yeah, no, V looks insanely Romanian. You can tell he's Romanian just by looking at his face.
If
This isn't a dig at Romanians, but you look Romanian. I'm sorry, those are just the facts.
the men in Romania look like they're like 17 generations inbred, but somehow like women are off the fucking cover of Victoria's Secret. Like they've got like a ratio of like 50+% that are just fucking smoking compared to our like 15%. It's amazing.
Hey, I can't complain about the women in Manhattan. I go to Manhattan pretty often, and I think chicks in New York are pretty freaking hot. I mean, I spend a lot of time, trying to fix my neck after I violently twisted to look at the girl that just passed by me.
I mean, you'd experience the same thing in LA though. Like if you experience further out from those areas.
No, never been to LA. It doesn't really appeal to me.
Let's see. Paula Costa says we need to figure out a way to publish Decimators in Portugal. What do you think?
I'm cool with that. We've actually talked about making a Spanish version of Decimators, since we have a free translator, which is me. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with publishing Decimators in the biggest amount of countries possible.
Where is it? Is it only? Where is it shipping? Is it not shipping to Europe?
It is shipping to Canada. I don't know Europe. I don't have any buyer from Europe yet. I think.
You should, when you get 5 issues together, do a collected Spanish language release for Spain or like Europe.
Yeah, I can do that. Not so far. It appears that it's been pretty successful. I guess it fills a gap in the market. The need that comic book readers have of seeing a lot of SJW zombies being brutally murdered on page. So yeah, I guess there must be more people interested in Europe, maybe Asia,
I,
Africa.
I mean, always be on the lookout for a way to make those ducats, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to name you. I don't know, my manager or my accountant. Once I get famous, you will be the motherfucker in charge of making money because you know
Sure,
how to make money.
sure as fuck not your accountant. That's for damn sure. I'm just a visionary, man. Sketch Therapy says that he heard on one of Cecil's chats that Romanian men are hideous and the woman gorgeous. He said, that's a place I must visit. I kind of want to go to. I've wanted to go there for a long time. But like, oh God, I know what would happen. I know what would happen.
Would you get your penis destroyed by the
Oh,
amount of thirsty Romanian women all over you?
honestly, I think what would happen is I'd knock some chick up and her brother would stab me. And you know
or
what? It
or,
worked
or
out.
his father will have you steal copper from construction sites for the next 20 years to pay the debt.
Yeah. Like imagine this. You bang some hot chick, you knock her up, and then V Monroe comes out of nowhere and stabs you.
How is that? I'm gonna try a Romanian accent. You knock up my sister. What did you knock up my sister?
You
I
have looked
know.
at my sister.
Yeah, no, that's me. You get that.
You're looking at my sister.
Anita Sarkeesian. It's just a joke. We love you, man. Yeah, you're the most adorable Romanian man.
He is a spurg and a half.
But you get to love him how he is.
I am. I have to dip out.
Yeah, and I think this has gone long enough. I gotta go to bed anytime. So
Yeah.
sometime anytime. See, this is what happens to me in the small hours of the morning. I become a terrible English speaker, and only half of what I say makes sense.
All right. So this is the part of the show. I'm gonna get. See, here's what I'm training you, Canalist. This is. I'm gonna put more effort into this. I'm training you. This is the
Teach,
part of the.
teach, teach me all midnight.
You do your wrap up.
Okay, do a wrap up. How is it done?
Wrap up. You have to do it.
I have to do the wrap up. Okay. Well, ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between, such as you, Sketch, and I'm saying this because you're a god among men. Uh, this has been the first, and I don't know, maybe only Canalestream of consciousness. Now there'll be more, trying to make up for the lousy stream that I attempted to do this afternoon. It's been a pleasure, and stay tuned for more awesome news. How was that?
That was pretty good. You can go with that.
Thank you. I'll do better next time. Don't worry. I'll practice. So yeah, keep it up, guys. It's been great having you all here. We have 5 watchers. Thank you, Sketch, Paulo. Who else we have here? Proper Jeremy and Bean. lovely bean from Pittsburgh. She invited me over. I gotta visit Pittsburgh now. So
Woo!
yeah, oh boy, ooh lad. So yeah, it's been great, guys. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Later.